In this video, I'll be walking out to where I camped last week. This time, I have a square tarp. I double checked. I'll have an English theme around the food and beverages for tonight. And man, am I looking forward to that fire. It's cold. Right now we're around freezing, and it's only going to get colder from there. This is going to be an interesting camp. Jackie texted me and asked if I meant to leave my knit cap and gloves on the dining room table. No, I didn't mean to. So, my hands are cold. Okay, this time I have a 10 by 10 tarp, and we could build that fully enclosed freestanding tarp shelter that I wanted to build last week. So the first thing we'll do is stake out both the corners. Oh, this is folded in half. The opening's here on this side. And the ground's not as soft as last week. There we go. Let's stake out this tab. No stake in this corner. And just the bottom. I'm going to have to get something out from under the tarp here. Yep. Bunch of sticks and twigs and stuff. Okay. And then just the bottom corner here. All right, and similar to the rectangular tarp that I had last week, this has 5 tie-outs on each side. So I've tied some cordage to the center tie-out here on the top. I'll run it through this. This may be too tall, we'll see. I could cut some more off, and we'll pull it up and then stake this out in the ground. Yeah, that's too tall. So I'll cut this down a little bit to give you the gist of it, what I was shooting for last week. I have a triangle. It's I'll be able to pull this side out in the back and get a lot more room. There'll be plenty of room at the head and just a minimal amount down at the foot. But it's plenty of room for me, definitely for one person. So I could sleep with this flap open, and I'll show you when I get it fully pitched. I could close this. These two sides meet. And if it's really windy, I could tie off the tie-outs together and then stake out the bottom and be pretty tight and cozy. Sometimes I'll do this, sometimes I won't, but to give myself some extra internal volume here in the shelter, I tied off the very center of the tarp as a tie-out, and I just pulled it back and tied it off over the stick. It does increase the internal volume quite a bit. So if the weather were to get really bad, I could tie this together and attach this to the stake. And then I have 3 more tie-outs along this bottom that I could stake down as well. And that would really keep me snug and cozy. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see in here, we've got maybe 3 feet at the max up here in this corner, down to, once I get my sleeping mat in here, it'll push this side out just a tad. And that's about all I'm going to have down there at the bottom. So all my gear is going to be up here near my head. I sleep kind of along this back wall with gear up here. The only disadvantage to staking it out and tying it up is if you have to go to the restroom in the middle of the night, it's just more to fiddle with. Okay, so I thought I'd try something I haven't done with this configuration before. It's a little breezy, just enough to keep this flapping around. So I pulled this side out and down and staked it out here, and then staked it out there, and then I could reach from the inside and put this tab on the corner stake. And it makes it a lot roomier inside and more secure. Let me show you. All right, so the trick's going to be just staying off the ground. It'll be okay to put my gear in there. Now I have a lot more room. I like this. I'll have to remember this for the future. Okay, so I've got the sleep system all ready to go. I'll probably leave everything else in my pack or just on this log by the fire tonight. So it's a lot colder this weekend than last weekend. We're at 30 right now. It's supposed to get down to around 20, and it's always colder in the woods than it is in town anyway. So what I have is my Thermarest sleep mat. I believe that's a 7.8. This Nemo pillow, which has a thick foam layer on it too. I have my Outdoor Vitals 0 degree quilt. And then when it gets really cold later, I have this net gaiter that I can pull up over my face when I'm sleeping too and breathe through it. It gets wet, but you know, it stays warm. Jackie made this for me a long time ago, and it is so warm. Then I have Puffy, and I'm supposed to have a knit cap, but soon after I started hiking, Jackie texted me and asked if I meant to leave that on the dining room table, and the answer is no. Okay, one thing I hadn't taken into consideration was I have a couple of British ales for tonight, and we're below freezing already. Fortunately, they take longer to freeze than water, and that's the other thing is my water bottles. I have some hot hands with me, and I could wrap the water bottles in that net gaiter with a hot hand to keep those from freezing. I'm not going to do that with the beers, but there's always something, isn't it? So I'm just going to have a snack for lunch and then chill for a little bit and get going on the firewood. Does this place look familiar? Same place as last week. I love this place. It's a great winter camp spot. And now I know there's plenty of firewood within a reasonable distance anyway. And up here on this ridgeline, it's just a blast. I like it up here. It's really pretty. I was the only one in the parking lot today. I like that. And haven't seen anybody because I could see I'm up on this like knob at the end of the ridge, and the trail goes around it about halfway down to the valley. So I could see kind of in a 180 where the trail is. And I had horses and so many hikers last weekend when the weather was really nice, and haven't seen a single person today. Nice and quiet. I love winter camps. I thought I'd get a fire going. It's pretty early. I think it's around 1:30, but it's cold. Now I want a fire. I have a whole lot more wood I'm going to need to gather, but this can get started and get some coals going while I'm working on that. I plan to spend a lot of time around this fire tonight. I have to say, gathering or processing firewood is a great great way to stay warm on a cold day. Well, it's just after 4, and as you can see, I have more than enough firewood for tonight and tomorrow. So the next person to come along is going to be pretty excited to see that, I'd imagine. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and drink those English beers, because unlike last week where I stayed up quite late after dinner drinking those couple of beers and enjoying the fire, once it gets dark tonight, it's going to be really cold, and I may not want to be up. So I'm going to have Boddington's Pub Ale, pint, they know how to do it over there, and a Smithwick's Red Ale. These are both really good beers, by the way, and they kind of complement tonight's dinner, which is going to be bangers and mash. So I'll just sit here, enjoy the fire for a while. I have plenty of coals, and then I'll probably start making dinner around 5, maybe a little later. Oh yeah, it's got one of those nitrogen capsules in it. And it's cold, really cold. Ah. It's good. Oh, there you are. I even brought a cigar tonight. I'm not sure if I'll smoke it or not, but if I do, it's in honor of Sir Winston Churchill, a very prolific cigar smoker, estimated to have smoked over 300,000 cigars in his lifetime. I can't even imagine. Oh, I decided to go ahead and smoke the cigar before dinner. Oh, to Winston Churchill. I wonder what his favorite beer was. It's time to get started on dinner. So what I'm going to do is move the fire to the front of the firebox and rake the coals to the back here to be under the grill. I flipped that grill over so we could cook with some indirect heat. And tonight's dinner is bangers and mash. It's going to be good. Well, hopefully it's going to be good. Wow, that is a lot of coals. Nice. That's hot. I'll go ahead and put the pan and the plate, this is all stainless steel, over the coals. Let those start warming up while I get everything prepared. I did a lot of the prep for this meal at home. Mashed potatoes would be a bit much out here. I really didn't want to have to bring a pot to boil the potatoes, for one thing. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, get some oil in this pan, and we'll get those bangers going. And then for the mashed potatoes, I want that on a pretty low heat. The potatoes are already cooked, although they're frozen right now. But I don't want anything sticking to this plate. I think that's enough butter. I brought way too much butter. So I'll cook the bangers and English sausage. Got the mashed potatoes. They already have salt, pepper, butter on them. I'm just really heating them up Once that butter melts, I'll put them in this plate. And then this is the lid for the skillet, but I'll use it to just trap the heat in there, keep those warm. And then we'll make the onion gravy. Thought I'd add a bit to this dish. I've got some peas and carrots. And then we'll just put the mash on top of that. As soon as I can find my fork. And get that warming up. That's a lot of mashed potatoes. Probably overdid that a bit. It's going to be interesting. Okay, the bangers are done. I cut into them just to be sure. I like to have a meat thermometer out here. Oh, almost lost one. Oh, this is going to be so much food. All right. So now it's time to work on the onion gravy. Get some butter. Now let's put it all in. What we'll do is saute some onions. I'll get back to you for the next step. Okay, the onions are translucent. So what we'll do is add some flour. We'll stir that in and let that cook for a bit. Now we'll add some beef broth. Stir that in. Let it cook and thicken up. I don't think we'll need more liquid. If we do, I could just add water though. Oh, and at this stage, I'll add some salt, pepper, and garlic. Okay, gravy's ready. Oh, that looks good. And we'll just pour it all over the bangers and mash. Oh, it's so much food. I don't know how I'm going to eat it. Oh, yeah. That looks really good. All right, and there we have it. Bangers and mash. That is heavy. It's a lot. We still have a bit of Smithwick's, or as they say across the pond, Smithwick's, left to accompany this meal. Oh, man, this is going to be so good. I'll sleep well tonight. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tuck in, tend the fire, and get back to you later. I got to tell you, it's a lot, and that's rich. I can't even eat half of it. Fortunately, we're well below freezing, and I have this Tupperware that the mashed potatoes were in, so I can keep it and bring it home for tomorrow. Maybe Jackie will want to try it. I doubt it, though. She's usually not a fan of my cooking, but I'm a fan of hers. So I'll take care of that, stoke the fire, and finish this beer. Well, I'm all cleaned up from dinner. Got the fire going again. It's only 6. That's one thing about winter. Days are short. So I guess I'll sit here for a while. I'm not really uncomfortably cold right now. And just enjoy the fire. The beautiful evening. Breakfast this morning is going to be pretty easy. We're going to have mince pies, and all I really need to do is warm those up. So I have this grill that goes in this pan. Ignore how dirty that is. I'll clean it up at home. And I'll set this here for some indirect heat because I'll put the pan directly on the coals. I've never had mince pies before, and actually I've never had bangers and mash before either, and I found that to be really good. I'm having it again. If you're in the St. Louis area, I got these foods at Global Foods in Kirkwood. They have foods from all around the world. I couldn't find these anywhere closer to home, but what a great place for foods. I'll just set this on the coals and give it some time to warm up. They're in little foil containers. I hope this works. They're frozen right now. Well, these, they're warming up a bit, but not as much as I expected them to. I could put my hands on the bottom of this cup. So I'm going to turn them upside down and put this lid on it to try and trap some heat. I know this wasn't very many coals, not very hot fire, but I really think it's all I need for this and coffee. And let's see if that works. All right, just getting packed up here. Almost there, really, other than cookware. This is where the foot box was. Have ice on the inside of the tarp. Where that foot box was, the quilt had ice all over the foot box too. It was pretty breezy last night, and we had a lot of ventilation blowing through the tarp. And except down here where my foot box was touching the tarp, and so that's why we have the ice there and nowhere else. I have to lay everything out to dry in the garage when I get home. That's pretty standard. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those are nice and soft. Perfect. Oh, even toasted a bit. Nice. Okay, I spread out the coals so they'll burn out quicker. And let's see if I could peel this cup back. I'm assuming that's what I want to do. I've never had... Oh, easy. Easy peasy. These are really pretty too on top. What a design. Okay, first time. That's not too hot. It is a fruit pie, so I don't want to scorch my mouth. Yeah, I think that'd be okay. Oh, that's good. I have got to explore more of the foods from England. These are really good. And so is that bangers and mash. Back to you in a bit. So I thought I'd walk out and check on the Dewey Cemetery. It's close to camp, and gives me something to do while I wait for the fire to go cold. David, Mary Dewey. Oh, I don't like the lean on this standing dead tree. That would probably come down on David's headstone there. That is too big for my bow saw. It's burned at the bottom. Yeah, definitely I need to come back and address that with some better tools. It's interesting to think Cemeteries from the 1800s, family cemetery. They lived here. I camped on what used to be their land. And it's just out here now. It's, interesting to consider how time goes by. But for the most part, things change. Things are forgotten. It'd still be nice to get that standing dead tree out, kind of take a look around and make sure that nothing's going to fall on these. They've been here for a long time already. I'm sure inevitably something will happen. They'll sink into the ground. I've seen that at Weldon Spring a few times. Something like that. What a beautiful morning. That sun makes all the difference. Well, that's a considerable amount of firewood left. Everything from the kindling to the bigger logs for good coals. I like that. It'd be interesting to see if there's any of that here. Well, if I come back here again soon. But definitely going to bless the next person or next few people. That gave me something to do yesterday. Kept me warm. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get a bigger pack if I continue these winter camps. It's just too much for this pack. That's crazy. All right. Hope you had a good time. Thanks for coming along. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. In this video, I'll be freezing my ass off.